The glory of Askeladd. Out of all the characters that appear in the prologue of Vinland Saga, one man truly stands out. A character that defined the first arc of the series and whose legacy follows our protagonist Thorfinn even into the latest chapters. Askeladd. In this video, we will talk about Askeladd's backstory, major themes, and impact in the narrative. Let's make something clear. If you ask me, Askeladd's character depth is unlike any other in the entire series. So, let's get to the analysis. A slave to something. One of my favorite quotes from Askeladd is this. A man, slave to gold, holds a whip, and beats the slave he bought with that gold, as if to claim that he is the master. He just doesn't see it for himself. Every living human being is a slave to something. Well, everyone is a slave to something. Let's check the other characters. King Svein is a slave to the crown, while Thorfinn is a slave to his anger, and Canute a slave to his royal bloodline. But what is Askeladd slave to? Money? No. His loyalty? Nah. In order to find out, we have to take a look at his backstory. I am sure that by now all of you have seen Askeladd's backstory in episode 22, I believe? Yeah. So we know that Askeladd is the son of a Viking warrior and a Welsh slave. So Askeladd was born in Jutland. He was not accepted as one of the sons of the Viking warrior, and he had to do all sorts of chores, treated like a peasant, or even worse actually, like a slave. And he saw his mother descend into madness. After that, he thought of a plan to kill his father and destroy his legacy. After he had earned his respect, he assassinated him in his sleep. And then he blamed it on one of his brothers. Then he fled with his mother and went back to Wales. And this is where Askeladd's narration ends. We never learn how he formed his group. When did he meet with Jorm? Or what were his first adventures? But most importantly, why did he leave Wales in the first place? Think about it. After his mother died in her birthplace, Askeladd was free to become whoever he wanted. He even knew a bunch of trades from his time as a slave. Why not settle down, find a wife, and start a family? Why go on this quest? Because someone had to do it. Not a hero, not a god, just someone. Someone had to stand against the tides of war, against the northern barbarians. And who better than a man with the blood of heroes? In a way, Askeladd is a slave to his sense of duty. A slave to the legend of Artorias, to his care for Wales. Askeladd the New Artorias. It is almost ironic, but when you step back and look at Askeladd's story, it is in many ways the journey of a legend. A young boy raised as a slave, whose cunning mind and iron will set him free. A boy which grows up to create a powerful warrior group and manages to kill a legendary Jomsviking captain. A man who infiltrated the Danish royal court, fought for Wales, and killed hundreds of barbarians. However, Askeladd never saw himself as a hero, only as a man who wanted to do the right thing for his people. Askeladd is also almost a father figure for Thorfinn. Sure, he didn't provide him with any formal education, but his teachings on the nature of war, power, and the circle of violence resonated with Thorfinn for decades to come. This is one of my favorite panels, with Thorfinn stopping Garm using the grapple that Askeladd used on him. If you really think about it, this duel in the war in the Baltic arc mirrors the one in the prologue. We have an angry teenager blinded by rage attacking a veteran warrior who couldn't care less about this war, and whose only concern is to protect his loved ones. Askeladd worrying about Wales, and Thorfinn about Gudrid. Askeladd defined the first arc of this series, and his character shaped Thorfinn probably more than anyone else. Askeladd is not a hero, not a great warrior like Thor's, and he tricked and betrayed his group multiple times. Askeladd in many ways is a perfect representation for Vinland Saga. This is not a heroic story about legends and people who always do the right thing. This is a story with characters who are morally grey, who have vices, rage, anger inside their hearts. And that is why Vinland Saga is one of the greatest seinen I have ever read. And Askeladd is perfect to mirror this.